Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
Forex Live. July 29, 7:39 America, New York. ECB Strategy Review Meeting Account. New strategy might imply transitory period of inflation above 2%. ECB releases the account of its strategy review meeting in July.
New York Times Business. July 29, 7:24 America, New York. Here's how companies are responding to the rise in virus cases. Large businesses are revising their rules about employee vaccinations and wearing masks as the Delta variant drives up infections. Apple's new mask policy will affect its stores where COVID-19 cases are high.
Marginal Revolution. July 29, 7:21 America, New York. A step closer to general AI. From Google's DeepMind. In recent years, artificial intelligence agents have succeeded in a range of complex game environments. For instance, AlphaZero beat world champion programs in chess, shogi, and Go after starting out with knowing no more than the basic rules of how to play.
Forex Live. July 29, 7:20 America, New York. Risk sentiment keeps steadier so far on the day. Equities keep the faith post-FOMC. At least for now, European indices are trading up on the day, holding gains around 0.5% to 1.0%, with the Stoxx 600 index holding at record highs in European morning trade.
New York Times Business. July 29, 7:15 America, New York. Economic data coming today will gauge the recovery's progress. Experts expect the GDP figure to reflect an acceleration in the spring, but the Delta coronavirus variant will be a challenge in the months ahead.
Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 7:09 America, New York. Robinhood, DD Global, Facebook, Credit Suisse. What to watch when the stock market opens today. Robinhood markets will begin trading on the Nasdaq today. DD Global shares are bouncing on a report it is considering going private.
Daily FX Market News. July 29, 7:05 America, New York. Gold price forecast. Is Bitcoin taking the shine away from gold? Neutral Fed does little for the USD, boding well for higher gold prices.
Google Business News. July 29, 6:54 America, New York. Global Computer Numerical Control Machines Market 2021 Recent business trends with feature scopes analysis by top key players like Bosch Rexroth AG, Dalian Machine Tool Group Corporation, DMTG, Fagor Automation, Fanuc Corporation, The Manomet. Global Computer Numerical Control Machines Market 2021 Recent business trends with feature scopes analysis by top key players like Bosch Rexroth AG, Dalian Machine Tool Group Corporation, DMTG, Fagor Automation, Fanuc Corporation, The Manomet Current.
Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 6:31 America, New York. China tech stocks rebound, but investors remain cautious. The Hang Seng Tech Index jumped 8% after Chinese authorities swung into damage control mode, but investors remain wary about heightened regulatory pressure.
Global Economy. July 29, 6:31 America, New York. Vaccines, Biden and an ill-fated EU-China deal. Trade so far in 2021. It's hard to top 2020 for drama, but there have been some huge issues coming out of nowhere this year.
New York Times Business. July 29, 6:20 America, New York. Credit Suisse report details failings in Archegos debacle. The Swiss bank, which lost $5.5 billion in the hedge fund's collapse, will fire 9 employees and order that some bonuses be paid back. A Credit Suisse branch in Bern, Switzerland. New York Times Business. July 29, 6:20 America, New York. Credit Suisse report details failings in Archegos debacle. The Swiss bank, which lost $5.5 billion in the hedge fund's collapse, will fire 9 employees and order that some bonuses be paid back. A Credit Suisse branch in Bern, Switzerland.
Naked Capitalism. July 29, 6:20 America, New York. Cuomo's incoherent, comeback en masse, strategy ignores Delta dangers. Cuomo, like his Team Dem allies, insists the vaccines will allow him to stay the reopening course when Delta is throwing a big money wrench. Naked Capitalism. July 29, 6:19 America, New York. Grassroots Fight for $15 movement has won $150 billion in raises for millions of workers, study shows. The campaign to raise the hourly wage to $15 has been racking up successes, even if the press doesn't much take notice.
Forex Live. July 29, 6:18 America, New York. Japan reportedly set to extend state of emergency in Tokyo to the 31st of August. NHK reports on the matter also, to declare state of emergency in 4 other prefectures, that likely being the 3 neighboring Tokyo and Osaka. This rebuffs the reports from throughout the week, with the formal announcement set to be for tomorrow.
New York Times Business. July 29, 6:09 America, New York. Gems in the backyard? A tall tale has glimmers of truth. News reports that workers in Sri Lanka dug up a cluster of sapphires worth up to $100 million were a welcome distraction for a pandemic-weary public. Ratnapura, Sri Lanka, is a center for dealing in sapphires and other gems. New York Times Business. July 29, 6 o'clock America, New York. Embracing vintage cars in the Catskills. A garage-turned-coffee shop and a restaurant fixing up Mustangs in the basement. The car scene is expanding beyond a high-end racetrack country club. Jared Lamanna opened Churchill Classics in 2016, in a former hardware store in Eldred, NY.
Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 6 o'clock America, New York. Carlyle's earnings jump on strong investment performance. The growth in the value of the firm's private equity portfolio outpaces the broader market.
Naked Capitalism. July 29, 5:57 America, New York. The infinite loop of empty direct-to-consumer branding. Taking note of a weirdly hollow millennial-focused consumer brand type.
Digital Finance. July 29, 5:37 America, New York. How to value the stocks of digital banks, J.P. Morgan. Analyst Harsh Modi says fintech's impact calls for different ways to divine the value of challenger banks. The post How to Value the Stocks of Digital Banks, J.P.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. July 29, 5:31 America, New York. Didi considers going private to placate China, compensate investors. Ride-hailing giant Didi Global is considering going private in order to placate authorities in China and compensate investors for losses incurred since the company listed in the U.S.
Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 5:31 America, New York. Didi Global considers going private to placate China and compensate investors. Ride-hailing giant Didi Global is considering going private in order to placate authorities in China and compensate investors for losses incurred since the company listed in the U.S. in late June. Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. Amazon's profit run poised to continue. The e-commerce giant has benefited from an increase in online shopping and growth of cloud computing.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. U.S. second quarter GDP growth likely hit historic fast pace. The economy likely exceeded its pre-pandemic peak in the second quarter, but slower growth is expected in coming months, with the Delta variant of COVID-19, and materials and labor disruptions clouding the economic outlook. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. Cybersecurity chiefs are in high demand as companies face rising hacking threats. As companies face growing hacking risks, corporate cybersecurity chiefs are earning more money compared with last year, but in many cases are still reporting to IT leaders.
Daily FX Market News. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. NZD, USD Outlook. Central bank divergence to play a key role. Investors were left wanting more from the Fed as other central banks moved towards adapting their monetary policy.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. Jobless claims expected to remain near pandemic low. Economists estimate that new filings for unemployment benefits resumed their decline after a one-week rise. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. Derby's take. Powell pushes back on tapering mortgage buying more aggressively. While the timing of a pullback in the Federal Reserve's bond-buying stimulus campaign remains uncertain, some of the tactics of the effort are looming into view.
Wall Street Journal Markets. July 29, 5:30 America, New York. London Stock Exchange suffers indigestion from Refinitiv deal. The UK stock exchange operator's $15 billion acquisition of Refinitiv is proving more difficult to integrate than expected, and shareholders are paying an early price.